Hi, beautiful friends. It's Leah Marie here to do your weekly oracle reading. This week, however, I was guided really strongly to not do a pick a card, but I was guided to do an oracle reading all about taking a leap of faith and doing so as a general message for whoever felt called to click on this video. So I am going to pull a few cards from two different decks to see what the universe wants to bring forward for the collective this week about taking leaps of faith. And so I feel like some of you might be working on new projects, or you've been growing and healing and getting to this precipice of it being time for a new cycle or a new journey, a new part of your life. Might even be like an entirely new transition into a new way of living, a new way of being. And so this is really coming through strong in the collective right now in terms of all the change that we're experiencing and everything that's happening on deeper levels around the world. And so a lot of things are getting churned up to let us have these opportunities to reassess, like, is what I'm doing making me happy? Am I feeling fulfilled? Am I in the relationships and doing the job that I really came here to do? Is this satisfying to me? So there's a lot of this questioning that I feel very much of the collective is getting the opportunity to utilize. Whether everyone's doing that or not is entirely a case by case basis, right? So I am here to bring forth a message today. However, for those of you in the collective who are feeling like you have been on this healing journey, this development journey, writing your own new story, and you're at a place where you're ready to take a leap of faith, but you're not entirely sure how or maybe what that's going to look like. And so this reading feels like it is designed to help support your leap, to help support your journey, the next leg of your journey, the next cycle of your journey. And so I'm really excited to see what cards come out with this message today as well. So if you guys need anything from me, all of that information is going to be in the description box below, the decks I'm using, as well as how you can get in touch with me if you'd like to book a personal reading, or you'd like to check out our online shop, connect with us on Instagram, all that good stuff. So I do so thank you guys for coming to the channel and checking things out. And I am just feeling into, there we go. I'm like, I know it's close, but I can't quite feel it. So we're gonna get just from one more deck here, bring in our fairy energies. So I am feeling that with this leap of faith, so for some of you, you may need to hear that it's like time to not take life so seriously. So wind just kind of moved the doors behind me. So it's like time to close the doors on taking life so seriously, on feeling the need to, it's like, yes, life is serious, but life is not meant to be taken so seriously that we're in this like heavy, burdened energy more often than not, which I see so many people in that space of not really knowing, like, how do I move forward? How do I do what I'm here to do, but in a way that is more playful and lighthearted and expansive versus feeling like it needs to be this business transaction, is the term that I'm hearing. And so the fairies wanted to sprinkle their playful energy, lighthearted energy into the mix to, there we go. That one flipped right up upright, so we're actually going to start with that card because it seems important. And it is like this energy flow too. I'm getting this strong winds where this just wants to move the doors and the curtains. And so it's funny because, funny and perfectly divinely aligned as all things are, I feel, is that our first card out is actually Magical Gateway. So I'm feeling this strong sense this week that there is this magical gateway that's open. And so recently we just had the Lion's Gateway, the Lion's Gate portal on 8/8. I do feel that there was a strong gateway that was open. A lot of things left our lives. A lot of new energies are in the space of being manifest and possible for us now. And so this energy of this new gateway being open, and I'm feeling that energy of wind movement even coming through. So it's like you guys are on the move, and your pacing might all be different depending on where you're at and what your dynamic is, but it's like you're on the move now, and whether you have a clear vision of where you're going next or not, you are moving forward and you're about to cross into a new reality for you, whether that's a new life cycle, a new job, a new relationship, a new activity that you're focusing on, or a new project. Whatever the case may be, if we kind of look at this, and I will read the message on the bottom of the card as well, but if we look at this, there's like the door here. So this is the side that's closed and this is the side that's opening. And with that, we're seeing this brilliant light that's not only illuminating the space, but it's illuminating this individual that's walking towards it. And so as you are taking your leap of faith forward, there is so much magic on the horizon for you, so much untapped potential for you at this time. And so I'm going to read this message that comes with the magical gateway, which is, it takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown. Yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. And I just really want to bring that in for you guys to take a peek at that, because this message of moving boldly forward and not looking back is part of your leap of faith, okay? And so I'm understanding more fully now why Spirit was saying, no, this just needs to be this message for the collective today about taking your leap of faith into the unknown and not looking back, not craving for what was, not trying to recreate what was, but to look forward into how can you take what was good from what was there before, and good in terms of how you deem things that you felt were enjoyable, desirable, that you might want in your new future. How can you take the essence of that, the energy of that with you to alchemize it into the future with all this untapped potential? So the beauty of stepping into the unknown is it's kind of akin in the shamanic world to the void. So it's the place from where all creation, everything has been birthed from that space. And so everything was just in this unknown, uncertain state until it was birthed into conscious physical reality. And so this leap of faith, while it may in some ways be unknown to you, you're not really sure, like, what does this even look like? What does this entail? How is this going to shake out? You might not have a whole lot of those details right now. And the universe just really wants you to know it's not important to have the how, when, where, all those deep specific details. It's just important for you to start embracing the unknown with bold, expansive energy, strong, courageous energy, because the reality is the world that we find ourselves in right now is carrying a lot of unknown and uncertainty for many of us. And even when we do try to tap in, we might be getting nuggets of things, but the long path is not straight, clear, and direct right now. So the more that you can surrender into moving forward, leaping into what your heart is calling you to, without having to know with like certainty the specifics, but rather know with certainty that where your heart is leading you is always going to be the place for your greatest growth, your greatest connection, your greatest fulfillment. And so with that being said, we're gonna pop to the middle here, which is Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. And so this is so powerful on multiple levels, because the other reading I'm feeling called to do, but we'll be doing after this one, is all about surrendering, releasing energies from our past lives. So I'm now personally getting a clearer picture of why I was even called today to do something in a very different way than I normally would. And so instead of getting upset about it, I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to start recording and go with the theme that Spirit's giving me today, because that's what the collective needs right now. And this is kind of this energy that the universe is asking you guys to like let yourself leap, let yourself fly, let yourself float out of that old stage cycle reality and into this new one, even though, as we can see on this card, there's not a whole lot of distinct anything. Like they are, we've got the moon and there's maybe some trees and some mountains, but aside from that, there's not a whole lot of visible structure of where they are, where they're going, what's even going on. There's the light of grandmother moon at the top here illuminating, guiding the way, leading us to a space where we can release ourselves from the tethers of our former life, our former stories, and allow ourselves to start stepping into a new reality that is more expansive and infinite in nature. Now, as this card suggests, it's like we do have to release those old patterns, contracts, past lives, because if we are still sitting here living in our old stories, these old realities, these things that have on many levels probably been comfortable, consistent, it's what we know, it's quote unquote certain because we already understand it to the degree that we do. However, on the flip side, that energy, if we choose to stay in that, is not going to allow us to expand, to fully experience these magical gateways and energies and opportunities that are here and available to all of us. So, with this being said, it would really indicate that it's time to perhaps look more deeply into the past life energy, explore your internal world to find out what else is it, what old stories do I need to release, what old patterns, what old conditioning, and what old contracts. So a lot of times people make soul contracts with individuals that are great because we come here, we want to fulfill them, so we do, but sometimes we fulfill them and we're still like in that essence of it because in some cases it's a contract we've been working on for years to fulfill. And so again, it becomes this familiarity, this comfort. And as this card mentioned, it's like going into the unknown. And the unknown for most people is not particularly comfortable because there's not a lot of clarity and there's not a lot of, certainty. And the ego, the mind, really craves and needs certainty. And so that's why it does become this venture of following your heart, like checking in. What do I have to clear from past lives? Are there any contracts that are still open that I need to close out? And if so, what do I need to do with those contracts in order to close them out, to move forward, to feel that I am free and able to shift and move? I'm also feeling called to call out the fact that there are three figures, three beings on this card. So for some of you, there could be some significance to the number three or three people, or there is an energy of like the triangles. So we're getting, mother, father, child, the Holy Trinity. There could be some energy coming in with like the trifecta of something for some of you. And I'm not getting more specific, so I feel that those of you who that's for, it's going to ping and you're going to be like, okay, cool, I know what she's talking about. So I'll let you guys take what resonates of that. So then we're going to shift over to here, and I am taking these in the upright. So this one is take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. And so this is so important from the perspective of, yes, life is, it requires effort. It requires us to co-create. It requires us to show up. However, as much as there is this mentality of, on some veins, like this hustle and grind mentality, yes, there is a time to push, and yes, there is a need to rest sometimes. And it's really about finding your personal balance. So as you take this leap of faith forward, you might need to pause and take a break before you're ready or energized to go forward into the unknown. And that's okay too. In this space here, and it may translate. So down here on the bottom, there is an individual who's in water, looking out onto this, grasslands, and then there's the horizon, and then there's a crescent moon. And so they're in this space of pausing, but I feel with this person being in a body of water, it's very resonant with emotions. So be with the emotions you're feeling about taking a leap or making changes in your life, and allow yourself to surrender to those feelings, acknowledging that they're there, and at the same time realizing that you get to choose whether you're going to let those feelings or emotions or stories or past experiences prevent you from moving forward into your beautiful new future. So that I feel the language of light cards here, or sorry, misspoke with that one. Work your light cards here. So the work your light cards here are really trying to articulate that it is a journey. Life is a journey, and these leaps even. So you're gonna take a leap now to one landing pad. And I just got, of course, this beautiful vision of a frog, right? So if it's on one lily pad and it jumps to another one, and it might go right away to another one, or it might choose to leap and hang out on one for a while. Check out the situation, explore the dynamic of what they see, what they feel, what they're experiencing. So the take a break is that sometimes in these journeys we do need to pause to make sure, am I operating from my heart right now? Do I have clarity about what I'm doing right now? And then prepare to leap into the next adventure. And life really is this journey, as this card mentioned. So it's a series of leaps, some of which we have more awareness, clarity. We can see the next lily pad, for example, more fully, and we know that we're going to land on solid ground. However, in this case, I'm really feeling that this leap that Spirit is bringing forth today is one where there might not be very much clarity. And so you might really need to be trusting your inner guidance to know that there is another lily pad there that's going to support you. Spirit's not going to let you fall. And even if you did fall, you know how to swim. So you could swim, you get yourself back up, and then you move forward. And it's really about surrendering. I'm hearing surrendering any sense of failure, because failure, as I've mentioned in many other readings and things before, failure is not a negative thing unless you choose to decide that it is. Failure is simply us trying something. We might not get the exact result or expected result, and that's okay, because we learn something every single time we try, every single leap we make. There's always an opportunity for learning and growth. And that's a big message with this as well, is that if on any level there's any fear holding you back from taking a leap, it's time to acknowledge that that fear is there, and also that it's a choice to face it, overcome it, leap beyond it, or to let it hold you back. Because it is a choice in this case. Spirit really wants you to understand that you're the one in charge of taking the leap. No one's gonna force you, although the universe is chiming in like, okay, wait, the universe might step in and start making things really uncomfortable. And so granted, it's not gonna force, because we all have free will. However, it is going to push you to a degree that where you're at doesn't feel comfortable. And I see this constantly with clients. I've seen this in my own life. When I wasn't making changes that needed to be made, the universe started putting pressure on me to the degree that eventually I needed to surrender, or it would just become so overwhelmingly uncomfortable that it just wasn't worth staying stuck or staying in the old mindset. And so this reading today is really coming through to tell you that you have this option to consciously make the leap on your terms at this time, and do so that you don't have to have it be a more pressure-filled situation. You get to release yourself, like unbind yourself, and let yourself give whatever it is a try that you're wanting to take a leap forward towards. Just give it a try and see what happens, and trust that just as you've been taken care of every other day for the entirety of your days on this planet, that will continue to happen as you move forward, and you will continue to have opportunities to learn, grow, and evolve in this journey. That it's just really like, give yourself the opportunity to actually experience the true magic of the universe on a deeper and deeper level each time you try. And with this particular one in closing, I just want to share that it just feels like I'm being called back to this doorway, and all this light, all this illumination, all this abundance and bounty, all of that you're really seeking lies outside your comfort zone. It lies outside of the place where you were bound. That's not where it exists. In this space where you're like just in your emotions and you're just hanging out in your emotions, sure, cool for a while, but you're not meant to stay there forever. So if you want that abundance, if you want to really understand what taking leaps of faith can do for you, you have to actually take them in order to experience that. And the more of them that you take, the easier it gets, the more comfortable you get being uncomfortable and not entirely knowing what's going on. And so ultimately, with this leap, I see it actually being the catalyst to make so many things in your life so much easier and more efficient and more graceful and beautiful and magical. So I am sending you guys so much love, light, blessings for an amazing journey and leap, and I really am excited. So please share like any of your leaps or your challenges. I'm happy to hold space for you, and I would love to hear what this means or looks like for any of you that feel called to share. So thank you so much for tapping in, for all of your support, likes, shares, and subscribes. Be well, beautiful friends.